لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
People seek success regardless of how they define that success or what is their main goal is. Basically, if we will search for some of the criterias of success from the Islamic point of view, we can summarize it probably in two words: the desire and the way, or management. And today we will speak about the second part, which is the practical steps that you might take to succeed in whatever you are seeking. The best example that we have throughout human history is the example of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for many reasons, the most important reason is that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was successful in both the religious part and the worldly part. So he was the best example in everything. Whatever type of relation or interaction you are seeking, you will find the best example that of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that is why Allah Almighty mentioned that he is the best role model for believers. We will see some glimpses of that, as well as from other prophets and messengers and righteous people throughout history. The first step is you need to know your abilities. You need to understand what Allah Almighty provided you with. What are you good at? Everyone, every single human being in this world, Allah Almighty gave him some criteria to succeed in something. So there is no such thing as a person who does not have any ability to succeed. So the first one is to discover them. One of the biggest issues with people nowadays is that every single one of them wants to be exactly the same thing. So most people, for example, they want their children to be doctors or engineers, for example, as if there is nothing else on the world. And it continues. That is not necessarily the case. Allah Almighty mentioned in the Holy Quran that He made people different abilities, different means, different ways and so on, so that they will serve one another. They will serve one another. So discovering that is the first thing. Allah Almighty gave us the example of Dhul, one of the greatest figures in history. Dhul, Allah Almighty, when He spoke about him, He said that we facilitated for him and we gave him a mean or a way to everything. So what did he do? He followed these means and ways. So he discovered them and he followed them. So the next step after discovery is to follow, work on them. After discovering your abilities, work on them. Develop them, follow them, and try to achieve something with them. Allah Almighty told us that He followed these means and He established faith and justice on earth. And He started doing what benefits people. Coming to this point, it doesn't mean that there will be no hurdles, no challenges in the world. No, exactly. There will for sure be many. That is why you need two things. The first one, you need to be optimistic. The Messenger ﷺ used to love to be optimistic regarding everything. Whenever there are any two choices, the Messenger ﷺ is always optimistic. And also, do not be stopped by challenges or by problems, trials and tribulation. They are part of life. These are opportunities. This is not something that new talk that you hear a lot nowadays. This is from day one in Islam. I'll give you an example. How do we calculate the Islamic date? What do you call it? The Hijri? The Hijra. You know the Hijra. The Hijra is what? The immigration of the Messenger ﷺ. Was this initially a good incident or a bad one? They are being forced away from their homes and their money and property, and some of them are persecuted, some of them are tortured, some of them died in the way, and so on. And finally the Messenger ﷺ himself was threatened to be killed or assassinated, and then he managed to leave Mecca, leave his house and homeland and everything, and go to a new land. They consider this an opportunity. They consider it the greatest thing that happened to Islam. So although it appears to be a very big challenge, you are leaving Mecca, the best, your main Qibla, your main place. It wasn't the Qibla at that time. It was the place of Ibrahim alayhi salam, the Kaaba of Allah Almighty, the first house of God on earth. You are forced to leave. You cannot come back here. They consider this a great opportunity. Turned it, established a new city for Islam in Medina that became the capital of Islam. From there, spread throughout the whole world. Even after the conquest of Mecca, they did not return back to Mecca. It is Medina now, the opportunity. You understand? So this is the concept that you need to keep in your mind. Now, we have such an example at the life of Dhul Qarnayn as well. Dhul Qarnayn, when he, after doing so many things, he reached to a people who could barely understand any speech, any talk. Either they are lacking in communicational skills or they are lacking in mental skill, whatever it might be. But that did not stop him from trying to spread whatever knowledge he has, whatever civilization that he had with him, to them and try to help them. So when they saw his help, he did not hesitate. Now coming to the third point, which is cooperating with other people. No matter how much strength you have, how much knowledge you have, how much wealth you have, regardless, you still need other people. You can never achieve great things by yourself. Great things in the whole world are achieved by cooperation between people. In the life of Dhul Qarnayn, we have a similar example. The example when they asked him to help them make a barrier between them and between Ya'juj and Ma'juj, people who used to spread mischief on land. So he said, I will share with you my knowledge and my ability. However, I need your assistance. You have to assist me. You have to work with me. Which they did. So you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the skills, but I do have them, but you have the strength. So we can share together and we can achieve. And thus they did achieve. So they were able, alhamdulillah, with the blessing of Allah Almighty, to stop the harm from Ya'juj and Ma'juj, as well as to save future generations. Allah Almighty mentioned about the barrier of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, or the barrier of Dhul Qarnayn. He says, they could not overtake it and they could not pierce through it. No, it was well built, well established. How was it achieved? By cooperation. Allah Almighty told us another example, which was the example of Ibrahim alayhi salam, when Allah Almighty ordered him to build the Kaaba. Did he build it by himself? Who was there to help him? There was nobody except Ismail alayhi salam. So he went to Ismail alayhi salam. Ismail, I need your help. They say, you are the beloved person of Allah Almighty. You are a messenger of Allah Almighty. Why do you need my help? He says, no, I will help you and support you. And they collaborated to build the Kaaba and raise it. Lots of examples in life. We are just taking some glimpses just to understand the concept. Also, you need to work seriously or take the matter seriously. Sometimes you hear people, you tell them that you need to take the matter seriously. They are mistaking serious work with hard work. It doesn't mean that you have to work hard or tire yourself or cause troubles to yourself. No, but you need to take the matter seriously and then do your best. Do what you can. This serious work is what brings results, inshallah. Allah Almighty gave us the example of Nuh alayhi salam. Allah Almighty told him to build the ship, the vessel. They are not near any river, let alone any sea. But it is the order of Allah Almighty. So what do? People are making fun of him when they saw him trying to build a ship. What are you doing? Here? For what? So every day they will pass by him, mock him, ridicule him daily. Did that stop him? No. He continued to build a ship, a huge, massive one that could hold whatever Allah Almighty ordered him to carry, as well as withstand huge turbulence later on. Allah Almighty gave the example that it withstood waves as high as mountains. well built. How did it come? Serious work. It's not a little thing. So he took it, he succeeded, alhamdulillah, he saved himself and saved people around him and future generation by the mercy of Allah Almighty. Next, after that, you need to depend upon yourselves. Nowadays, we find many people who are very quick to criticize, and some of them are also very quick to suggest, which is good. Sometimes it's a positive suggestion or a positive criticism. This is good, but they are not willing to do anything. So they want other people to do. Okay? I remember in this masjid, a man came to me one day after the salah. He says, after you start the salah, children start playing outside. Okay? And so I don't know, you are the imam. Okay, what do you expect me to finish the salah and go? How does that work? If I am in the salah, leading the salah, people are playing outside. So what is the best solution? Stop the salah and go and stop them? We need to cooperate. So it's not, the idea is you need to do something yourself. It's not only about other people, what other people are going to do. Fine. But depend upon yourself first. Try your best. So this is the main concept, the main idea. We have many examples, such example. We can take the example of a strange one, very strange. Maryam alayhi salam, you know Maryam alayhi salam? Many miraculous things happened to her, right? When she was worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, serving in the house of God, Allah Almighty told us that the fruits out of season will come to her there. Allah Almighty will provide her with the fruits out of season. She does not have to work, she does not have to leave anywhere, she does not have to do anything. Fine? Fine, alhamdulillah. Now, because nothing is required from her. Now, after she carried Isa alayhi salam and she gave birth to him, now she need to eat and drink, restore her strength. What did Allah Almighty told her? Shake the trunk of the date palm tree so that some fruit will fall in front of you so that you will be able to eat and drink. What is going on? Isn't it possible that Allah Almighty will provide her directly? Jibreel alayhi salam was there. Isa alayhi salam is speaking to her, reassuring her, or Jibreel alayhi salam is assuring her. And now she is in a very weak situation. It should be provided to her without her doing anything. No, you have to do something. To get something, you have to work, no matter what. It is not about the work itself. Try to shake the trunk of a tree. Just go outside and try. We have so many. Can you? It's almost impossible. This is something that is unshakable. But the idea is do something. It is not going to fall because she is shaking. But you have to do something yourself. Then Allah Almighty will provide. Allah Almighty is telling us a very important life lesson. This is repeated throughout the Holy Quran. Allah Almighty is not going to change your situation until you initiate that change, until you start changing. Allah Almighty mentioned this very clearly twice in the Holy Quran. This is one example. It's not going to fall by itself. You have to do something. Just do it. This is a very beautiful example. If you compare the two, are very surprising, but because there is a lesson behind it to us. No matter how difficult the situation might be, no matter how hopeless you might think you are, you can do something and you need to do something. But simply sitting or whining or crying or cursing the situation and people, that is not going to help. So you need to do something to change life. We have another beautiful example in the life of the Messenger ﷺ in Hijrah. He took so many precautions, so many preparations before the Hijrah, although Allah Almighty promised him that He is going to protect him. But still, he has to do something, do your part. We have a beautiful example from the Sahaba, Abdurrahman bin Auf radiallahu anhu. When they were forced to immigrate from Mecca to Medina, he left Medina, they don't have anything with them. The Messenger ﷺ made brotherhood pact between each one from Mecca and each one from Medina. They are brothers now. So they can share whatever they have with them. The brother of Abdurrahman bin Auf was Sa'd bin Rabi' radiallahu anhu. So he said to him, I will share with you everything I have. Abdurrahman bin Auf radiallahu anhu says, no, I'm not going to take anything. Just guide me. Where is your market? I want to trade. I know how to trade, so I want to trade. Where is the market? So he got him. He went there. Abdurrahman bin Auf, sure after that, soon after that became one of the wealthiest figures in Islamic history ever. At the time of his death, part of his wealth was pieces of gold that were cut with axes because they were very large. You have to work yourself. The Muhajirin, when they came there, the people of Medina, Al-Ansar, wanted to share with them whatever they have. Their own farms. They had lots of farms in Medina. They refused. Said, no, we will work with you and we will share with you the fruits. So they started working with them and then sharing the results. So that is how you depend upon yourself and then you will achieve. The Messenger ﷺ gave us an ultimatum. Even in war situations, if you could only afford a rope, the Messenger ﷺ said, go try to collect some date wood and try to sell it. If that will sustain you, alhamdulillah, this is a great thing. Better than asking people. So even that minimum. So this is better than asking people. Why the Messenger ﷺ has given us this example is because small businesses are actually very important in economy. Some people might overlook it. You think it's not important. This is very important. No matter how little it might be, this is something very important. The example of the Messenger ﷺ mentioned, this is a very beautiful example of recycling. Very important thing as well. Or you keep it there as debris, what is going to happen? And so on and so forth. Keep in your mind that this world is a place of work, not a place of play. You are here on land for a mission. That mission is to take care of this earth and to make it your ground for the hereafter. Do something in it for the hereafter. Allah Almighty mentioned this reality in the Holy Quran. Allah Almighty made the earth easy for you. He facilitated for you the earth. So all the resources of earth and everything is facilitated for you. But what does facilitated for you means? Does it mean it's very easy to get everything out of it? No, you need to work for it. In the other ayah, Allah Almighty says, had Allah Almighty made wealth abundantly available with people, they would have done great mischief on land. They will not appreciate it. If the resources are limitless, what are people going to do? Now we know for sure that the resources are limited. We have crisis regarding resources and people are still misusing them. Imagine if it was the opposite. So Allah Almighty knows. Now Allah Almighty say that He facilitated. What does He facilitate for? It means if you want, no matter where you are on earth, you can still achieve something. Only thing is that you need the desire and will, and you need the way and management. True? The UAE is a beautiful example of that. Imagine a leader coming here and saying, this is a desert, what can I do? No water, no vegetation, end of story. We are all doomed, let us go somewhere else, and that's it. On the other hand, you can have a management that will see this as an opportunity. This is a great opportunity. We'll try to do whatever we can, the best we can with whatever resources we have. And you could see the difference. Around us, there are countries that have abundance in water and vegetations and natural resources, and they are suffering great poverty. What is going on? Bad management. No will, no way. No desire, no management. That is the problem. So Allah Almighty, when He mentioned these realities, He immediately followed that. He says, so go around on earth. Try to discover whatever there is on land. This is number one. When you do that, then you will eat from the sustenance of Allah Almighty. So Allah Almighty made it is there. Seek it, search for it, try to discover it, do something with it, and then you will get the fruit. That is what Allah Almighty mentioned in one verse, one single verse. But He add one more thing, and then unto Allah Almighty you will return. That is when the accountability will happen. So when you have lots of abilities and you are wasting them, do not blame anyone, blame yourself. Don't blame the place and the time and the situation and the crisis. No, blame yourself. Now, final 2 points. The first one is about the importance of continuous learning. Life is a learning process. A learning process. Never stops. No such thing that I will stop learning or stop doing something. The day you do that, you are dead. This is your day of death. Retire? Probably retire means you have to retire yourself again. Do something else. Doesn't mean go and sleep and relax. This is not good for yourself. Not good for your health as well. Because life is different than anything else. When you go to school, for example, you learn first, you study, you do lots of exercises, then you are tested. True? In life, you are tested first. You face life and then you learn the lesson. The exact opposite. Which one is more important? Life. These life exercises are real lessons. They are not going to... So you need to do something. You need to start. Not only blaming the situation or blaming people. So continuing to learn, this is something very important. Allah Almighty gave us an example, a very strange example. Can you imagine Musa alayhi salam, Kalimullah, the one Allah Almighty speaks with directly among His creation? Musa alayhi salam, one of the most knowledgeable people on earth ever. When he heard there is a servant of Allah Almighty somewhere in this world who has more knowledge, you could learn from him, what did he do? He said, I'm never going to leave this spot until I meet this man and learn from him, no matter how long it might take me. He went, traveled, waited for the appointed place at the appointed time and waited. He said, I'm never going to leave. I want to learn. Do you need it? He's given us an example. Learning never stops. Don't say I'm too old to start learning. Before a few months, one of our teachers, a great guy, mashallah, a scholar, he finished revising the Holy Quran with a continuous chain to the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam at the age of 72. Started a year and a half ago. He already memorized the Holy Quran, but he wanted a direct chain. Does not need it. It's continuous learning. Does he need it for work or anything? No. You never stop. Never stop. It's continuous. So you need, whether it is a worldly matters or religious matters. Final point, you need to combine between whatever ability and knowledge and know-how that you have with you with the spiritual strength. Don't rely only upon your abilities and your mind and says that's it. No, you also need help and support from Allah Almighty. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. You need help and support from Allah Almighty. Combine them together because that will give you motivations. You find so many people who have lots of abilities but they're not doing anything with them because they rely upon them. They forgot to rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. Why? What do you want to do with it and why? The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us a beautiful hadith. He says, concentrate on that which is important to you, which is beneficial to you. Do not waste your life and your abilities and strength. Concentrate on what benefits you and rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and never feel helpless or disability. Never. Don't say I can't. The Messenger in the same hadith, this is continuous translation. Never say I can't. That ajaz. Don't feel incapable. SubhanAllah. The Messenger continues with the hadith. It's a life lesson. So hopefully we can learn from this, inshallah, the formula for success in whatever we are doing. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to what benefit us in this world and the hereafter, and grant us success in whatever is beneficial to us. Ameen. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.